Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Scrimps and today I'm going to show you how you can put all three of your Atlas trees to work towards a singular strategy. I'm going to show you the three trees that I'm using currently as well as explaining some of the concepts behind how I got these trees to synergize. That way you can apply it to any other league mechanics you'd like that aren't mentioned in the video. Let's get to it. So, back in patch 3.24, GGG gave us the ability to switch between 3 different Atlas passive trees as opposed to just having the one. Honestly, I think this is among the very best changes that they've made to the game since I started playing it. One of the huge draws to Path of Exile for me is the variety of the endgame, and being able to freely swap between different Atlas passive trees and experience different aspects of that endgame has been huge. However, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about how you can put all 3 Atlas trees to work towards a singular strategy as opposed to just running 3 different individual ones. I've been really testing this out this league, and so I kind of wanted to share what I've cooked up. Since getting all of my Atlas passive tree points, something I've done is set up a 3-tiered system where each tree feeds into the next by providing materials that I'll need to run that tree's strategy. This does 2 things for me. 1, it keeps the endgame a little more varied. Path of Exile is a very grindy game, and so it's nice to get to experience a few different flavors of the endgame as opposed to doing the same thing for days at a time. Something else it does is it keeps the amount I'm interacting with trade to a minimum. Now, trade is for sure powerful, and they've done quite a few things to buff the quality of life of trade in the last couple leagues, but I still want to spend more time actually playing the video game and less time digging through listings and finding the person who's going to answer my whisper. And so we're going to go over each of these 3 trees in order. We've got first our map farm, Alch, and Go strategy. This strategy has 2 goals. 1, we want to get as many copies of our favorited map for the second strategy as possible, and 2, we're trying to get a bunch of gold, and that's why we've added Shrine to this, is just to get more packs in the map who can drop gold. Now let's go over the other things we have on the tree. We have Expedition right here. I like Expedition. It's a profitable mechanic. It's consistent. We're also running Extreme Archaeology. Reason being, we want to keep the amount of time we're interacting with these maps to a minimum, and so we just walk in, we place a single explosive, we pop it, and as long as it's not bricked, we get to collect all of that Expedition loot and move on. Now you'll notice when I scroll over here, we do not have all of these chance to gain an Expedition encounter nodes. Reason being, right now Scarabs are 1C, and so since I'm not using the Scarab slots for anything else in this map anyway, I figured I would save myself some points for other things and just force Expedition via the Scarab. We're also running Eater of Worlds altars. You could run Searing Exarch altars as well, but I had run Searing Exarch altars on a previous strategy for quite a while, so I already had a bunch of the Ember currency, and I wanted a little bit more of the Ichor currency. On top of that, since we're blasting maps very quickly, we're going to see more altars, which gives us more chances at that sweet divine altar. Also, we've got Delirium on here. This isn't really doing too much for us, but it's getting a few more packs in the maps that can drop gold, and every once in a while you'll get something nice off of the Delirium rewards. Finally, since we're trying to get as many copies of our favorite map as possible, we're running these map tier nodes here, these map tier nodes here, and these down here. I would be running these as well, but I've recently freed up some slots so that I could run the Shrine like I mentioned earlier. I'm also running this single Kirak mission node. Honestly, it's not even to run the Kirak missions, just buying chisels from him feels pretty nice. So I get more Kirak missions. If he happens to have something good when I check, cool, I can run it. If not, I just open a map, buy the chisels, and move on with my day. Now the second strategy is a Legion Ritual strategy. We favorited Dunes and farmed up a bunch of them using the previous strategy so we could run them with this strategy. The reason we have Ritual alongside Legion is because these Legion monsters will actually appear in the rituals, unlike most other League mechanics. And so if you've got any Legions next to a Ritual altar, you can pop that Legion, kill everything, and you'll get more tribute out of that Ritual altar. The most I've seen off a single altar was 4,000 tribute, which translates to some insane totals across the board. The most I've seen is 15,000, and I almost always have 10,000 or more. And so we've got all of these Legion things here. We're running these as well because reward tiles seem like they're a little more powerful this league. We've got a bunch into Ritual as well. Between our Scarabs and the tree, we're seeing 4 rerolls, which means we're seeing 5 Ritual windows total. This can be insanely powerful if you get the nameless altars. Each one of these, as far as I can tell, will offer you a single audience with the king. It's key to the King of the Mist fight. At the time of this video, they're selling for close to half a divine each, or you can run them yourself, and there's a bunch of different copies of the Light of Meaning Jewel that are actually worth something. Ritual has felt absolutely great, and we have more than enough tribute because of the Legion to properly you know, interact with the ritual and really get the most out of it. We also have a little bit of map tier here because one of the other things that's important to us is farming up tier 17s. We want to farm as many copies of Fortress as we can so we can use it for our third strategy. Now, this is not something I cooked up on my own, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time explaining it. It's just a pretty standard tier 17 strongbox strategy. If you're looking for other tier 17 strategies, there's a bunch of content creators out there who've put out some great stuff. I would suggest looking into those. But yeah, we're basically running strongbox, we're running the tier 17s, we've got a little bit of beyond, and we just want to go in there, open the strong boxes, kill the boss if we're capable, and then leave. And so to sum everything up and kind of show the synergies between the trees, we have a low investment Alch and Go strategy that's going to farm us a bunch of copies of our favorite map so we can run our second strategy, which is a mid investment strategy. Since we have a bunch of copies of the map, we can roll more than we need, try to get more 8 mods to keep our profit up. And if you have some of those lower tier ones and you want to still run them, you know, like maybe it, you know, only rolled like 80 or 90% quant or something like that after the chisels, you can run those maybe without the scarabs or maybe with less investment in the scarabs, since you're going to get less out of those maps in the first place. We're getting a bunch of our tier 17 of choice so that we can run our final strategy, which is our highest investment strategy. These scarabs are the most expensive, the maps are the most expensive, and so I don't want to have to go around and spend a ton of money and keep getting more of these maps. Also, tier 17s are a little bit stressful, so I don't want to be running them constantly, but I do want to run them sometimes because they are definitely the most profitable in the game right now. If you wanted to apply these principles to other mechanics, I would say have one of your trees be about map farming and just pair your favorite Alch and Go mechanic with it, something that you can blast maps very quickly, get in, get out, and that's not scarab reliant. I would have your second strategy be something that runs well on a map that gets you your tier 17 of choice. Again, any mechanic that works well on that map that you enjoy doing is good, and you can run some scarabs with it. If the scarabs are particularly expensive, maybe you run less or you don't run them. And then finally have like your high investment. This is like your big, I'm trying to get a bunch of currency so I can get the next big item strategy. And that's kind of how I would put 3 strategies together using just about any league mechanics. And that's it for me. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or pop on over to my stream at twitch.tv/scrimps. I'm live most days and I love answering questions. Anytime I can help out, that's great. This game is fantastic and I've gotten to meet a bunch of really cool people through it. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Peace.